Aloha, this is your main squirrel, here with a quick disclaimer. This podcast contains explicit content and parental discretion is advised. So no bitching if you fucking get offended by anything. Thank you. Thank you very much. And then we have the boning turtles.
Probably our favorite thing of the intro. Everybody else loves her little content warning. We love the Bony Turtles.
You know that's what that little sound is in the back, right?
I didn't get to hear anything.
You don't get to hear anything? Oh, well.
But the theme song that's before everything,
Of course.
you know that's a turtle having sex.
With the croc?
That little, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody remixed it.
Yeah.
Somebody made a
Yeah,
trap
I heard that one.
remix.
I don't even want to ask what enticed them to get that turtle humping video.
Dude, those little tortoises, they're horn dogs.
Dude, if you walked out and saw a tortoise boning something and making that sound, would you not whip out your camera and film it for posterity?
You know, I probably would. I probably would too. Come to think of it.
Get his drone, do like
I'd
a
be like,
360 all around him.
I might. Oh my goodness.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squirrel Tangent. We are here again for yet another couple of episodes or whatever. We got our very first Patreon supporter with us today. We got Chris the Crazy Cat Dude. Yeah, you are the very first one. And
nice. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's a pleasure. I've actually wanted to have you on the show a lot longer before this, so now we get the chance.
Yeah, we were trying to fit something in there when I was in Vegas, and it just didn't work out. It was just kind of busy that time.
Yeah, and see now, now y'all were getting on me before I hit the record button about my notifications, and then you get a ding.
What was that, me?
That was you.
That must be that must be behind the scenes here. Oops.
I missed
Guilty as charged.
So we introduce him as actually Chris the Crazy Cat Dad because he's kind of a cat fanatic, and he does a lot actually to help out with no-kill animal shelters, very specifically with cats. I mean, how many cats have you fostered, or like, God?
Well, last year we had 107 cats, and we got 97 of them adopted out. And then this year, I think I've lost count, but I think we're well over 80 already. And a lot of those are really sick. One's off the street, one's with injuries, eyes popping out, legs broken, all that kind of stuff. So I just got a real compassion for the ones who don't have voices for themselves and can't help themselves. And you know, Hawaii's a rough place to grow up, so especially on the streets for a cat.
And here's Mr. Lou.
Well, on cue.
Right on
And
cue.
it's, and the thing a lot of people might not know about Hawaii, because we do have a lot of listeners in Hawaii, but we also have a lot in Vegas and other places. Well, I don't know about a lot, but we have hit over 1,000 listens, by the way.
Yeah. In Vegas, they have their local ASPCA. There's another one called Street Cats. I can't remember the other ones because I got upset. Because remember that one tuxedo that we were telling you about, Luna, that we wanted to find her a home because she was trying to come in our door, and she had already been chipped and snipped, and was supposed to be a part of the feral community in the park right behind our complex. But because they were abandoned in one of the units, they all came back in because that's all they remembered. Because the owner of the unit didn't take them to the ASPCA, didn't take them anywhere, just dumped them outside.
Dumped them, yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't know anywhere to go. And so they came back in, and this one, I wanted her so bad. But you seen the wine eye ehu hair tita earlier.
Yeah.
Dude, she ninja bum rushed that poor tuxedo baby. Like, she ninja through my legs as I was walking. And, like, total gangbusters bum rushed on her. I was like, yeah, this is not going to work out. Why?
Yeah.
Because she's possessive of this dude. Oh, where are you going to go?
Yeah. Oh, then you can
you
see
gonna
his
go
little
there?
Mickey spot there.
I saw
gonna
that. I
stay
was
over
gonna say
there?
cow print Mickey spot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's his Mickey spot.
He's got a spot that looks like Mickey Mouse on the side of his body, but
That's
Yeah.
cool.
it's because both of our cats are rescue cats. You know, Mr. Lee,
Nice.
we went to a no kill spot, and actually the story is really cool on Mr. Lee.
He had just turned 1 in. Actually, he just turned 12 this month.
Yeah.
Ooh, old guy.
Yep, he's a handsome silver fox.
And
Your cats definitely have their share of food, don't they?
yeah.
They look hefty.
Well, he's hefty. He's
He actually looks bigger than he is, and when you weigh him,
he's about 14 pounds.
Does the camera add 10 pounds for
Yeah.
cats as well?
I'm guessing so.
It's not proportionate at all. It's just 10 solid pounds.
Because when we moved here, we had, you got to take them in and get them all their shots and all of that business. And they
Yeah.
weighed him,
Mhm.
and the scale said 12 pounds. We're like, you guys didn't calibrate that scale right, because he ain't 12 pounds.
No.
I would say maybe now he's
14, 15.
maybe about 14, 15. During the winters now, because we're here, he really changes as opposed to back home where it's all one
Yeah.
temperature. But he actually,
I know it.
you can really see the difference between, I gotta brush him every day. As soon as I can tell when the seasons are starting to change, because I've gotta brush him like every day. And it's just,
They
I
pull that
gotta
thick,
use, yep.
thick coat in the winter, huh?
He has a very, even the vet said that he has a very odd coat. Like, he looks short hair, but his undercoat, it's like
Chinchilla hair.
crosshatch. He has like a thick, strange cross-hatched undercoat.
Yeah,
It's like sounds like one gigantic dreadlock.
The vet said he had chinchilla fur.
and it is. It's
Sounds
that
soft.
thick. It's super soft. He really does have a really super soft. It's like a pad on his body. And
Pad?
yeah, it looks like he's gotten padding, but
I thought you were. Are you petting like always pads when I'm my pads in my bathroom when I'm not looking?
no, I wasn't going there.
And when the times that I wasn't home, you're like, they have wings.
Super freak. Super freak.
He puts them on his shoulders and drinks Red Bull. Red
No,
Bull
no.
gives me wings.
I'm not like your. I'm not like your Mr. Pennyman ex that you had.
He's not an ex. It was just a
Fun time.
quotations a friend who had we had discussions about him before.
A thing for her panties.
No, he had a fetish for panties.
Yeah. But
yeah.
to each their own. But
Everyone has their freak flag.
how Mr. Lee was found though was we went into this shelter and there was cats everywhere. And
Him and my mom had decided on a tortie.
she was absolutely adorable.
She was super cute. And she was lying on my mom's lap. And this place we went to, all the cats knew how to play it up. Like, they knew, like, people. And they were just gonna
home.
they were just on you like flies on shit. And as soon as you opened the door, you had the greeter sitting on the receptionist desk. Wow! I'm like, hello. And then you had the one. You had the one dude who had the tooth problem, so he was still loaded. So he was like the Woodstock LSD dude. He was like, and he wanted me to love. Like, I want to love you, but dude, you're like drooling everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
I love places like that. You walk in, the cats are like everywhere. They're so they have such good personalities. A lot of times, once they're not scared or skittish, they'll
None
come
of them
up
were,
and greet you right away, like just like a dog.
Yeah, and there were
except
dogs
Mr.
too.
Lee.
But so Mr. Lee was in there, and so
But we didn't see him.
we didn't see him at first, and Brandy's mom and I, we had found the one cat that we were absolutely loving on, and
They were, but when I tried to, she didn't respond to me. I was like,
yeah. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are a completely 420 friendly show. Though I am not allowed to partake because of my job, anybody that's on the show, including my other half and our guests, are absolutely welcome and encouraged to take a hit from the bowl.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
It makes the conversations way more fun. And that's what you just heard. And so, but Brandy's still walking around, and she shows her head at the edge of this counter, at the edge of this like bookshelf that was
I
in
go
there.
walking through, and there was like the metal file shelves, the metal file. So there's this basket,
Oh, yeah.
this like wicker basket that was all the way in the back in the corner, and I was like, and then all of a sudden I was like, I got closer, and I saw the tip of his ears. I just
Little
saw these
pink ears,
the two little peaks, the twin peaks. So I got closer, and I was like, hello. I'm like, hello, and up he came. But his eyes, he was making squinty eyes because he was sleeping. And then he slowly came out to the end of to the edge of the file cabinet, which I was not much taller than. So he came up to the edge, and he put his when they do the head bonk, he put his head on my head, and he didn't move. He stayed there.
Oh, he headbutted you.
Yeah.
He was hitting your.
He didn't just headbutt me.
He was hitting your mana.
He didn't just headbutt me. He was full on, just stuck, just stayed there.
That's like the Polynesians do, right? They put their foreheads together and breathe in each other's breath. He was doing it to you.
So he just stayed there, and I was like, Gregory. Because I didn't move. I was like, any minute now, he'll take his head off my head. Gregory came around the corner, and I was like, oh, I think I found one.
And see, now they had already had a name for the cat. His
previous owners, he was dumped. He was abandoned. His previous owners.
Was he an adult or was he a teenage?
About 1 year.
He had just made one in that
Okay.
June. We saw him at the beginning of July, because I remember them saying, "Oh, he just turned 1 last month."
Oh.
But what his previous owners did when he was, I guess,
of age to get fixed
or whatever, they took him in to be be neutered and frontal declawed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Frontal declawed, and then they left him.
And then that's like the worst. Leave him with no way to fend for himself.
Yeah, my guess is that they left him because they couldn't afford to pay the bill. And they went in to do the right thing and get him fixed.
But not the
frontal declaw, but they went in to get him fixed and declawed, and then just like took off. Like, we can't pay the bill.
So what happened was the vet that they took him to wasn't like a vet/rescue, and apparently this vet was friends with the vet of the rescue that we got him at, called was him at the time, and said, "I have this cat here. He's domesticated. They took, I frontal declawed him. I'm not gonna take him to the Humane Society. They're gonna,
They
they're
Yeah,
just
he's
gonna,
gonna be euthanized.
they're just gonna euthanize him. They're like, he's super sweet. He's he's shy, whatever. So they took him, and they only had him. They said they had him maybe for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Because he was stealthy. He would hide in the corner.
Yeah. I experienced that myself. I adopt a lot of cats out of my house. I also provide a lot of kitty cats for Boy Dogs and Popoki and PetSmart charities and stuff. And so when I have people come through my house, I'm always kind of letting the cat choose the human rather than the other way around.
That's the way it's
so I have the
supposed
people
to be.
sit down and see what cat comes up to them. I say, here's a toy wand or whatever. And that's kind of what I try to do, because a lot of people will be drawn in by looking at a Siamese cat or one of those other popular kitties.
Well, because they're pretty.
But they don't even, because they're pretty, but they don't even know the personality. So I
Like
kind of evaluate and
the
say,
lynx point.
what are you guys looking for? Mm-hmm.
I would love to have another lynx point Siamese, but if he doesn't want to be my friend, then
Right.
it's not gonna work out.
So
and
this cat.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
His name on the papers though was Atzel, which apparently that's something off of a Peruvian god or something like that.
Not
Axl
Axl.
Rose?
Not Axl like Axl Rose, but Atzel like the Peruvian god. And
Atzel.
Right, and we're like, no, you're not an Atzel. I mean, he had like this little tiny, and I hate to say it, but Asian eyes and little tiny head, big body.
He does.
And so
and we called him by his given name, and he wouldn't even he wasn't even
didn't
responding.
give a damn.
He wasn't responding to his given name. We're like,
so Brandy's middle name, my middle name, and Brandy's mom's middle name is Lee.
And now when when you make jokes amongst yourself, and before all this severe political correctness, you talk about Mr. Lee in Chinatown.
Right, and there's actually a song in Hawaii.
The Mr. Sancho Lee.
Yeah, there's a song in Hawaii.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
ladies and gentlemen, it is lychee, not lychee. Anyway.
So we were only planning on Mr. Lee, and the way we spelled it was M-I-S. You know how you see how we spell it? M-I-S-T-A. Mista.
Yeah. Mista.
That's Mr. Lee. And then my friend posts lives in his lychee tree, and I was like, there you go. That's his whole name.
Yeah, his name his official name on paper. On his chip is Mr. Sancho Lee.
Mr.
Nice.
Mr. Sancho Lee Cibresos Garrett.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I named mine I try to name mine very sweet and confectionery names, very adoptable names when I get them, make them very marketable. I kind of treat the kitties. I mean, I love them and I have a sensitive spot, but I also kind of try to give myself a little distance to them because getting them adopted out is tough. Yes, that's it right there.
Oh, Brandy can't work at a shelter.
The first couple times I was bawling, blubbering in PetSmart, trying to hand over 5 kittens is really tough and degrading to my own personal. I felt dumb, but I've learned now to kind of put up a shield, but I give them just as much love, but I also always keep in the forefront of my mind that these are for other people. I'm doing a service to the community. I'm trying to help other people get a companion and that sort of stuff. So I love the rescue world and stuff. I actually got into rescue because a very similar story to his. I went to the Lion Humane Society and I wanted to get a cat for Jessica for Valentine's Day. And we had both talked about it, and it was on our list of things to do, and we just had never done it. So I went to go and ask them. They said they didn't have any. And I said, well, can I leave your number so if you guys find one or some comes in that you can let me know? And they said, well, it's not kitten season. Wait for another month or two. I said, okay, that's fine. So I left, and on the way back to work, because it was at my lunch, they called me and said one just came in, but he's like a preemie, and
Ooh.
and so I was like, no way. So I came in, he still had like little umbilical attached and stuff,
Oh.
and they named him Dakota, which I quickly changed because that he didn't fit Dakota, and so he had all these. He has two little black ears and then a black tail. He kind of looks like a devil. Um, but I ended up calling Patches because he's got patches of black and white, and so he actually knowing that they were going to euthanize him because he was
They
underweight.
don't
I
take the
started looking more
time for
about the
preemies.
policies.
Yeah, they don't take
No, it's
time.
they have to be over they have to be over 2 pounds. So anything under 2 pounds, which
Oh.
is roughly 2 months old, well, they'll be unfortunately euthanized. But as a caveat, I'd like to say that the Humane Society's gone through a lot of changes and they have
Oh
new
yeah.
administration and stuff. So hopefully, I think that a lot of that stuff, the culture is changing there. So I know I sound brutal when I'm talking about them euthanizing and stuff, but hopefully that's changing. The policies will change there. I'm hopeful.
Right, right. No, and we all are
Yeah.
actually, because both of our cats, like I said, are rescue, and
Yep.
Well,
and
Ma Petite wasn't a rescue. She just cruised up. Somebody dumped her.
oh yeah, no, and to
Yeah.
me that's still a rescue.
That's a rescue. Yeah, it's definitely a rescue.
Somebody had dumped her because
Hmm.
the the Zippies in Waiau where the power plant is as you're
Oh, right,
going
right.
and there's that car lot and whatnot and the Easy Music Center. Well, he used to be the security guard for that area.
Yeah, right across the
Yep.
street there's a used car lot.
Yeah. So anyway,
I remember where that is.
yeah. So the house and that little auto shop that's there, there's a feral community over there, and I don't know if the old lady is still alive because she was actually really old. But and we were gonna get one from her, because we were talking about getting a friend for Mr. Lee, and we were gonna get one from her. But the one that we decided, that was like super super friendly. You could tell it had an upper respiratory infection because
Yeah.
Right, right.
I could hear the gurgling. So
Yep.
she goes, well, let me take her in. Wasn't her? Let me take her in, and if you don't see her again, you'll know why. I was like, oh, okay,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. I was like, oh,
oh boy.
but she was so
Yeah.
sweet. But and then we didn't see her again, so we're like, oh, I guess it,
Yeah.
it wasn't good. So now you can tell, but your part of the story.
Okay, so for like 7 years I did security in Hawaii. Now that I'm moving to Vegas and now I'm driving buses, so completely different on all accounts. I mean, I couldn't grow this beautiful, luscious beard that I have
Okay,
now.
that's not part of her story.
But giving him a chance to take a hit from the bull. Um,
His ears don't stop working.
but while I'm sitting at the lot one night, and one of my regular stops there was I would stop at Taco Bell on my way into work because that lot was walking distance from where we were living. So I would walk down the street, stop at Taco Bell, I would pick up some food, and then that would be what I would eat at lunch. And security is real lonely work. I mean, it's
Yep.
I tell people
It is.
a good night is a quiet night because that's a boring night because when it's a active night, when you got a lot of stuff to do, that means somebody's been hurt, some property's been damaged, etc., etc., etc. So, it was a quiet night, and I'm sitting there just breaking into my Taco Bell, and up trots this little kitten. Like out of nowhere, this orange, skinny little runt of a kitten.
No, she was maybe just going into her 5th month.
Yeah, like right at her first heat. Either just passed or she was about to have her
We
first
figured
heat.
out. We kind of figured out why she got dumped because.
What's that?
Probably had her first heat because
And they couldn't stand. She wasn't.
Ah.
She wasn't one of those that has the sexy heat sound.
Oh,
That
no.
make the sexy heat sounds like my.
She yowls.
No, she sounds like freaking Scuttle from The Little Mermaid. Exactly. It was like honk, honk, honk. And the first time she did it, and it was 2 weeks after we got her, and we were like, it was in the middle of the night, and we're all dead asleep. And we're like, what the fuck is that sound?
I didn't get good sleep that week. I really didn't get good sleep that week.
Yeah.
And
you know, I do a lot of feral conversions, and that's one of the things they tell you is when you bring them inside the house, they'll yowl and howl and want to be let out because they're used to roaming at night. So now you're changing everything in their life, and until they forget about that outdoor stuff.
She had to have been inside.
Yeah, she was totally an inside cat. No, because she walked right up to me, begged food.
Oh yeah.
Meow, 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 meow. Like she had a whole conversation with me to get some damn tortillas and cheese. And so because I had like the Mexican, not the Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah.
So I used to like peel off the the melty cheese with the tortilla, and she loved that. And
of course, I love that too.
Right. And so I get that.
Tell them what you did.
I got it, and I gave her a little bit, and she ate it right up, and she was still hanging out by me. So I was like, I made a phone call. I was like, hey, Brandy. And I sent her a picture. I still got this picture to this day because, it was a real grainy old camera or old phone. But I call up Brandy and say, hey, Brandy, can you come out here with some cat food? I got a little stray that came up and begged food.
You feel like snacking on some cat food?
Oh.
I got a cat that came up and was real hungry and wanted some food and is letting me feed it. And she's like, okay. And then she comes out with a bowl full of cat food.
Well, first I was like, I don't want to get attached. And then he sends me the picture. And I was like, okay, that's dick.
Yeah, that's a deal breaker right there.
I was like, that's dick.
Yep.
I am such the con person.
So I come over, because it's only like a 5-minute drive away.
Right.
I come over, I come outside, I sit down on the stairs, and she's all coming up to me. This is how she conned me. She came and she's giving me loves, and I put down some dry food for her, and then I brought a little Tupperware, and I put water and loving on me and all kinds of stuff. And then he's all, what do you think? Should we bring her home? And so I pick her up and I look at her because I wanted to see if she was dirty or if she had fleas. Because if she had fleas, I was going to be like, dude, we're going to have to...
Yeah,
we're going to have to...
business here.
Yeah, she got fleas. She was too clean. You know, like how spotless. Outside they get that dust ring on there.
Sure.
She was pure because her paws are white. She was white.
Fresh dump. She was a fresh dump.
She was a fresh dump. White. I picked her up. Went backwards on her fur. Everywhere. Nothing.
No.
I smelled her. She smelled like shampoo.
Oh, suck, man. They're punks.
I was
they couldn't even get him. They should have just got her spayed, That's
exactly. And they have
their loss, your treasure.
They have the discounts, when they do the assembly line ones, and it's. And I was like, okay, we cannot leave her here. She's not used to being outside. That's why she came up to you.
She wouldn't have survived on the outside. She was not feral at all.
Right.
So this person, the people who dumped her knew that there was a feral community over there, and they dumped her there.
Yeah.
So I was like...
that's the reason I'm really worried to tell people and have people at my house. A lot of times I try to go off-site now because people... No, I'm serious. I have people will come by and dump their cat at your front step knowing that this guy's compassionate. He'll take him in, and he's watching over this colony. He's at least feeding them.
And we know you're too much of a sucker. You'll actually take them in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I've been working with lots of different organizations that have helped me promote and adopt out my kittens, and so I'll try to save every life that I can. and it's almost to my detriment. I end up sinking a lot of money into kitties that have a chance, but probably not that good of a chance. And I'm like, well, I want to give it the old college try, but
Right.
I like to help the ones that are the most needy. There's a whole group of people that feed feral cats, and that's their thing. They're like feeders. They go around and they buy 50-pound bags of cat kibble.
Oh
They go
yeah,
around to like 10
but they
different
don't
colonies and
bother to
feed them.
do to they don't bother to do the TNR.
Right, and
there's
we're
some that
trying to
do.
change that culture. I'm working real hard to with other people to help change that culture. I've been going out trapping last couple nights, and um, trying all these different tactics to catch the kitties. It's kind of like a sport for me now. It's like hunting,
I know,
but
because
for
they're
the good
like
way. I'm
smart. They
hunt,
catch on to
I'm
that
hunting
shit.
them balls. I'm hunting those balls and those ovaries.
Right? I'm gonna
Yeah,
get that hysterectomy, bitch.
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
no,
right.
and the funny part though is that Ma Petite, that's the little orange kitty that came up to me in the lot. She knew exactly how to con Brandy. She knew exactly, like she gave exactly enough love to get Brandy to take her home.
And then
Sucker.
we were afraid how Mr. Lee would go because he's actually used to in the shelter had all the other cats and there was dogs just all roaming together, and we had house sitted our friend's house who had a dog and another cat which became his girlfriend.
Right, which he can't do anything with because he has empty hair sacks anyway. But still,
That doesn't mean the urge ever went away, but because he likes to have random sexy time. Apparently Ma Petite looks extremely sexy while she's eating.
Well, it's got to take
So
advantage. You're sitting still.
So,
that's
but he
it.
doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know that he's supposed to crouch down. Even when she was going into heat, like he goes, "Okay, I know I'm supposed to mount you this way, and then I'm supposed to bite you on the back of your neck." And you see his tail jiggling, and his back legs jiggling, and the sacks jiggling. But he doesn't know that he's supposed to crouch down, and she's all up in position, and I'm like, Mr. Lee, what are you doing? You didn't even know what to do.
Oh man, I don't have any cats that do that. I think I have all male cats by just the luck of the draw. Believe it or not, I have 10 of my own adopted cats.
Oh,
So those are
geez.
10.
ones that are
You're up to
not gonna
10
get.
now.
Yeah, well, it's because some of them I take in, and I mean they all have their own story too, just like your guys' does. But I have some that I take in, and I see that a cat's injured, right, and not walking on a paw or something,
Mm.
so I cat trap it, get it help, and then in the process of getting it help, I find out that's like FIV positive, which is like
Oh,
HIV but for
yeah.
kittens, and it's got an upper respiratory infection, it's got its teeth rotting out of its head, and it's about to die. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do some medical stuff on it. Let's get it comfortable, and then he can live out his days here, as opposed to being on the street where death would be certain
Right,
very
right.
quickly.
And
Especially when you're halfway in on a cat, you might as well just
and
go and make it comfortable and give it a spot. So,
right. You mentioned to me when we were talking about doing the episode that if people wanted to, they could see the pictures of your kitties, and where can they find that?
well, I put a lot on my Instagram. You can find me at 808 Thompson, 808 THOMPSON, and you'll see lots of cute kitty pictures and stuff. Not every time, but often when I get an adoption, I'll make a cute little collage and I'll put them on there, and you'll see all my special needs cats that I've got. I've got ones that have toxoplasmosis, so they don't have control of their walking function, so they just bounce around a bunch. It's pretty cute, but kind of sad to watch. I've
Right.
got like complete ferals, ones that are like old feral cats that have gotten 100% rehabilitated into house cats, which is a pretty rare occurrence when they're that old. And then, all those kind of cats and stories and stuff I post on there. So you can find me at 808 Thompson on Instagram. It's probably the best route. But I
And
work with all different rescue groups from Humane Society and then all the smaller nonprofits as well, all of them on the island. So
I know you
I'm
do
kind of
poi
constantly
and
involved.
I know you do the popoki and poi dogs.
Yeah, Poi Dogs and Papoki is a big, one of the biggest ones I work with. I provide them a lot of kitties that they put into the PetSmart kennels. And so you can go into PetSmart, and a lot of the kitty cats in PetSmart Honolulu end up being the ones that were at my house. So they hold about 12 cats at a time. I think I've got eight, 8 or 9 in there right now that were previously fostered by me. So
Oh,
I really have my hands deep in it. I got volunteers that come over and everything else. I work with there's a lot of great rescue groups. If you ever find a stray cat, or if you don't know what to do about a situation with your cat, there's a lot of great local groups on Oahu. Cat People of Oahu is one. Catopia Hawaii, Boy Dogs and Popoki we just mentioned. Cat Charities is also a really good one, and they all have structure to help you get your pet spayed neutered if you can't afford it, and help out with any kind of miscellaneous cat issues you have. So I always tell people to seek out help with their own cat online on Facebook groups.
yeah.
What happened to Boris?
Boris, which Boris are you talking about? I've had
The
three
the
Borises in the
gray
last six
the
months.
gray kitten Boris.
Oh, Boris. Oh, sweet Boris. So, Boris was born with malfunctioning legs, and they were kind of all over the place like a wishbone.
Oh.
And they were, getting him to a stable spot in his life where he could get all of that taken care of, and he was going to get him amputated so they didn't catch on stuff, and then just he would have a wheelchair. And cats are extremely elastic. They bounce back so quickly, even if they have like a missing limb or something. So he had high hopes for him. He was really healthy, and everything was fine. And then Boris started throwing up some like white foam or something, and they took him to
Mm.
the vet, and he went into a respiratory distress, and unfortunately he didn't make it. So we were really shocked, I guess, because he was doing so well. I had seen him the day before and picked him up and played with him and took silly
Oh.
pictures with him, and it was crushing because he has like a little audience on Instagram. Aloha, what is it? Boris and his Aloha Life, I guess it
Yeah.
is, on Instagram. And it's really sad to see his passing because he was doing so well, and it was kind of sudden and out of the ordinary. But
And then there's
you
Boris the Blade.
yes, so and I have one at my house. This one's near and dear to my heart. Boris the Blade came off the rough streets of Kalihi. They
Ooh.
call him Boris the Blade because he would cross the street and everybody would part, and everybody would run across the road to get away from him. He was the meanest cat, and when he ate, he would yowl and get ticked off at people and stuff. And I took him in because they thought he was blind and deaf. He was walking around running into stuff. He was living down inside of a storm drain. So he had parasites from the raw sewage. He
Oh.
had eye problems. He doesn't have very good peripheral. He hears, but not very well. And he had like hair falling off of him.
Oh my
He was
goodness.
just a hot mess. And so, like I talked about, I like to take the really challenging, tough ones and try to help him out. And my whole thought was, get this guy some help, and then hold him for 2 weeks, and then release him back to his habitat because he's got thick old skin because he's an old Tom and everything. And so we got him in. And they went to take his balls, and they said he's too sick. He can't take his balls. I said, okay, we'll
He's
do
too
whatever we
old
can
and
do.
sick.
Yeah, so
He's so
exactly.
sick he gets to keep his balls. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of issues going down, and so he had the upper respiratory, and he couldn't breathe, he couldn't see, he couldn't hear. It was in rough shape. So I took him under my wing and just basically, they sedated him, trimmed his nails so I could handle him a little bit better. They gave him flea tick treatment. They tried to treat his mange, his ears, his eyes. Um, and they took a look at his teeth, and they realized his teeth, he needed 16 of them extracted. They're all rotten.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
so we've gone down this long path with this cat. And after he got healthy enough, he went under surgery, got his balls and his teeth taken all at one shot. And so
I have
it was
no
a rough week
nuts
for
and I
him.
can't chew.
Yeah, but I've now had him for 4 months, and he's become totally he's gone from feral to fabulous,
Oh
and he is wonderful.
boy.
He's a great cat, and he'll be up for adoption soon. So he'll probably go into the Popoki and Tea. It's a tea cafe that handles cats, like a cat
Uh-huh.
cafe, and it's on right across from the Fender Works in what is it, on Wailea Ave in Kaimuki, and that's
Do
where Boris will
do
go.
you really want to put him up for adoption?
Well, if I put him up for adoption, that leaves room for potentially 4 to 5
True.
other kittens that I
The-
could take on, because one cat takes
Right.
up a large space compared to the kittens. Right now it's kitten season, so I'm
oh
trying
yeah.
to get out with the kitties that I've converted and get in the kitten game a bit more.
Right.
So
He's been seeing them going on his night walks. They're like all on the side
yeah, it's
of
absolutely
the.
crazy, and a cat can produce 144,000 cats from
Did that
one
just
mom.
did, did that
That's
notice
just
just
in.
say that they passed the ending of Obamacare? Did your notice just freaking say that?
I don't know. I'd have to look that
Dude.
up. Anyway,
I hope not.
we're staying away from the political side of this. We really try to stay away from the political side of this. And as much as I
Yeah,
give
it's
props
tough.
for the Vegas Golden Knights, I love the Vegas Golden Knights, but I know next to nothing about hockey. So one day maybe I'll get some knowledge about hockey, but I don't know much about that.
Well, this is my Vegas Golden Knight shirt I got when I went to the arena and watched the Blues play. My team, Stanley Cup champion, St.
Look.
Louis Blues.
Ooh.
Um,
Yeah.
so but I love the Vegas Golden Knights. I love the arena. I love the atmosphere there. It's unlike any other arena I've been in. The team kicks ass. A lot of your players on your team have some affiliation with St. Louis. Ryan Reeves, who just signed a 2-year contract with Vegas, he's one of my all-time favorites enforcers. He's just got that wit and that he's just got that spark, he just enough like talking shit, to people,
Mhm.
that he doesn't become cocky and annoying. He's just a great player, and I really enjoy watching Vegas play. I watch him every time I get a chance on TV,
Right.
and so I love to come to Vegas. I try to come to Vegas about once every year or two, just because I like to go and gamble a little bit, and
Can't do it
it's usually a
now.
direct flight. Oh, I know,
Yeah.
I know. Well, I'll be patient. I'll wait. I'll wear my mask.
I
I'll
mean,
do
cause
what the experts recommend.
some of the locals, like a few of friends of ours, were like, you know, we got this really gut feeling that we're gonna have to go to a second lockdown.
Yeah,
We're gonna have
it's
to.
kind
We're
of
gonna
scary
go
right
to
now
a
with
second
everything
lockdown.
with everything jumping back up, and now it's going to be a week or two before this actually posts and people get to hear it. But by then, I'm
We've
sure people
got
will see the numbers. But still,
we've how close to how much did we have the other day?
well, we're averaging about 5. We had like one really sharp
That
uptick
one
day.
spike, that one big
Yeah,
spike day
but
was.
we're averaging about 500 people a day, new cases.
Right here on Oahu or in Hawaii, I think we're averaging like between 16, 17, 18, up to like 25 a day. I think we spiked to 25 now. And a lot of times it's, heavy on Oahu. Oahu being the most populated island, it's easier to transmit. We're just trying to, I think Hawaii's been awesome. They've taken it more seriously than a lot of other places in the country I've seen, but like I haven't seen anybody without a mask on inside of a store yet. And where I see people on Facebook, they're camping with huge groups of people. They're walking around in stores and stuff, and they're in different parts of the country. And I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody needs to realize that different parts are affected differently, and so I try to keep that
Right.
into consideration. But man, I tell you what, like wearing a mask is such an easy thing to do for
And
saving lives. It's so simple.
the people trying to say I have asthma, I have this, it lowers my blood oxygen rate. It's BS.
And okay,
Yeah, and I just say like not even addressing it, whether it's BS or not. I just be like, you know what, that's fine, but can you just have your husband or your spouse or whoever else go in for you? Do you have to be the one that has to go into that establishment? You know?
I
I have not left the house in 4.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's you know, I said it on my rant. It's turning into a form of a vogabobia, a vogabobia, a vogabobia.
I knew exactly what you meant.
Agoraphobia, because I mean, like, I don't even walk to the mailbox. I don't even walk
Yeah.
outside my door.
Yeah.
Like the most I'll do to open my door is to pick up the box that Amazon dropped out.
There's lots of people telling me to Lysol the Amazon box before they
We
even
do.
touch
We
it and bring it
do.
in.
We
We
do.
do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because
Do you have, Greg? Do you have like a process when you come home in order to help keep Brandy safe?
Yeah, actually, because I have an essential job. Being public transportation, we are essential employees. We keep people going to work that are going to work. We keep
and
the
it
city
was
moving.
actually a slight argument in the beginning. He goes, you know, I was like, no, and I just kind of had to lay down the bitch law. I said, you come in the door, you spray the doorknob, you take off your shoes, you spray your shoes, you go and stand in front of the washer, and you strip naked, and you put everything into the washer.
She
And
gets
then
to
you
see me
take-
cock the swinging every night.
And you take your coxa-flopping ass into the shower, and you take a shower and scrub
Wash
it
that
all.
COVID down the drain.
Scrub
That's
it
right.
all. I said, you don't touch nothing. You don't touch the cats. Nothing. And then, when you're done with that, then you can go love on your mapatut, and then you can come to my room and talk to me. I mean, there's no talking. I mean, like, talking from out here by the door where he's far away from me, then that's fine. But he's not allowed to come anywhere near me.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anybody that's been personally affected by COVID?
Several.
Anybody that's contracted it?
Several.
I've got about 8 people now on my friends list who have had it, or their spouse that I don't know has had it, so they're directly affected. So it's just crazy that how it's kind of spreading. And I thought, oh, look, there's one person I know that had it, and now it's up to 8 already, and they're all in different parts of the country.
My sister was this close to contracting it. She had a massive upper respiratory infection.
Right. It was.
It got really, really bad. They told her, you are this close.
And what's worse is her sister was that close, but her sons actually contracted it.
My nephews got it in Colorado. My sister is back home in Oahu.
Yeah.
And then one of my BFFs, one of my best friends, she got it from the very beginning, and she's in Texas.
Yep.
And now she's in the same boat as me because she got it from the very beginning. It took her 2 months because they had her, she didn't have to go with the ventilator, but she had a, what's that?
Like the extra oxygen added or something?
Mask, yeah. The oxygen mask.
Yeah. Or like the ones for people with asthma.
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Anyway, you know what I mean. But because she didn't have a fever, they told her to just quarantine herself at home. But it took her 2 months. It took her 2 months to clear. Yeah. My nephews, it took them 1 month to clear all that fluid out of their lungs. My one nephew.
Is it easy to get a test in Vegas?
If I need to, yeah, actually, it is pretty easy to get a test, especially with my work. If it's suspected that if it's suspected that I'm a carrier or whatever like that,
or if they find out he was exposed to someone,
they'll send me right away to get checked. So,
but they're not doing it for people that are just like paranoid.
Right. They're only if you're showing symptoms or you've been exposed.
Yeah. So my friend that took the 2 months, she's like, we call each other mama. She's a mama. She goes, I'm in the same boat as you. She goes, I am scared to death to leave the house because I'm so afraid I'll get it again. Because there are people who are getting it again. Because they think
they say that you only have the antibodies for a short time afterwards, and then you can get it again.
Exactly.
So you're immune for a short time, and it varies with each person. They haven't figured it out yet. I saw that in a research journal I was looking at.
And my nephew, he was, calling, mommy's boy. He's a total mommy's boy. And she's all calling them the whole time because they didn't get to the point where they had to go into the hospital. But they were bad.
Right.
And they should have gone to the hospital, but...
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah. He said it literally felt like he was drowning in his own fluid.
Yeah. And like I've had 3 of my coworkers that were tested positive.
Yeah, so when I have like my friends who live in rural BFE, Missouri, talking about, I don't know anybody who's had, you heard me in the rant. I don't know anybody who has COVID, just because the government told you to wear a mask. If the government told you to suck a dick, would you suck a dick too? And I was like, just because you're in the middle of fucking the fields of rolls of hay in rural BFE, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that it didn't get to you yet.
And for everybody's information, if sucking a dick would save Brandy's life, guess who's swallowing the cock?
I would buy knee pads. I'd be ready. I'd have gear. I'd lip balm.
If it would save her life,
do jaw exercises.
I'm dropping. That's all there is to it, because it's, in order to save somebody's life, sucking a dick is a small fucking price. But and now she's got the image.
Just walking around. Get 2 skateboards and Jimmy rig them together so you can just walk around. What are you doing? I'm going hawking.
Oh God.
You wouldn't see any man complaining.
Oh, right. Suck my dick. It would be like It'd take one for the team. It'd be like Terminator, it's like, suck my cock if you want to live. Oh God. There is something seriously wrong with us. But I like it. Yeah. But yeah.
That's the price to pay,
Right. It's a tough price, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And that's what people...
I get so angry. It's just a stinking piece of cloth that you have to wear during the time that you're out.
In close proximity to other people.
24/7.
Yeah, they're not telling you to wear it, when you're in your house. They're not saying even when you walk out your door. They're saying when you go into a place where you can't maintain social distancing, put on a mask. Any piece of cloth will do.
I'm sure we've all seen the viral video of the lady.
Oh, which one?
I'm sure we've seen the viral video of the lady who was screaming about the mask at the city council meeting or whatever, and
the one that
said that all these people are going to be arrested, and
did you see the one
the devil's laws and all this kind of stuff?
Did you see the other lady? I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear. Things need to breathe. She was at that same.
Oh, man.
She was at that
That's
same.
Hilarious.
Congress thing. She said, honestly,
the logic
exactly
doesn't add up.
And everybody was like, you could hear everybody.
Oh goodness.
Like nobody laughed, but it was, everybody
You
went.
could feel the energy in the room.
No, everybody went, and it was so loud
Right.
because everybody went.
It was the whole room took that collective. What?
I don't wear a mask for the same reason I don't wear underwear.
Oh goodness.
Things need to breathe. I was like,
You know, some of these Karens just don't have anything else to do, and then they whip themselves up about it, and you know, it just becomes blown out of proportion. And I think everybody has a little bit of that in them somewhere, but you know, I wish they'd have friends that would back them off the mic before they got up there. And made a fool of
Right.
themselves.
Where was her
That's too
friend
bad.
that stepped up and said, do you really want to say that? You really don't want to say
Right.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, let's think about this and write down a structured argument with, you know, with cited sources instead of
you know,
going crazy.
now
on
now
people.
when we leave,
But,
if somebody walks next to you, they're gonna try and take a big whiff.
Or there'll be people that'll be wanting to be like, so you really not wearing anything? Can I see? Yeah.
some freaks out there, they're gonna be like,
Right.
hey,
Right.
you want to wear a mask and we can get down and dirty?
There's actually a car right around the
goodness.
block by our place that has a sticker that says, if you're sick, stay home. If you're thick, come over. Like,
There you go.
I'm like, but how do you know that this person isn't
Oh,
sick
man.
and just isn't having symptoms? I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, you know, I've been seeing, I've been also seeing a crazy trend happening, and that's like people starting to profit off of the COVID thing because it's been a few
Right.
months now and it's normalized now, and there's, you know, whether it's funding scams to help, you know, keep your business open, or giving fake kind of masks or fake, you know, what a PPE that's not certified to
Mm-hmm.
stop anything, or you know, this kind of thing. People are doing all types of COVID scams now, and it's kind of sad to see it happening. But my Facebook is flooded with offers for people selling masks now because anybody can make them, and so like
Right, and
everybody's
you
just
know
trying
what?
to make 'em up.
Honestly, any mask will help though, because and this is what a lot of people need to understand, that the main purpose of the mask is not to protect the wearer. It's not to protect the wearer at all. It is to protect the people around the wearer. So if you're asymptomatic, if you have this virus and you don't know it, you can be contagious. And wearing the mask prevents other people from getting it. And it can be anything. It's the whole point of the mask is to prevent the droplets from escaping your mouth and your nose. That's the whole point.
Well, I like the whole pee analogy. You know, the whole, have you seen the pee your pants analogy of that?
I
If you're
have.
wearing a pair
That
of
one's
pants and you
hilarious.
pee your pants, that
Yeah, if you're not
yeah,
wearing a
that's
pair
fun
of
one.
pants, it's
It's
gonna
really,
get
it
all
makes
over
it
everybody.
simple to understand.
Yeah, and
That's right.
and it's a point of any mask will do. I use the ones that are kind of like
Yep.
sleeves,
The sock.
the sock thing that goes over, because
Mhm.
with my beard, it's way more comfortable because I have a beard that goes down to my damn nipples. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, I passed Gandalf. I'm well on my way to wizard.
I'm so glad you said nipples because I was
Yep.
expecting something else.
oh no no
Yeah, I
that
didn't
that
know
would
you were going with that either.
that would be Dumbledore, because in the Harry Potter books, Dumbledore's beard is down to his belt.
So now you're at Gandalf.
I'm past Gandalf. I'm like between Gandalf and Dumbledore.
So you're at Hagrid then.
I'm at Hagrid.
Okay.
I'll take Hagrid.
Okay.
Hagrid is good.
Uh,
Although
I
I'm
like
not
that
as big
I
as
look
Hagrid.
forward
like-
to the ZZ Top.
Like that sexy Hagrid picture I sent you.
Oh, that was disturbing.
I'll send it to you later.
All right.
Oh,
There's a sexy Hagrid.
sexy
Yeah.
Hagrid.
So okay, now we always do try to do 2 episodes at once, but we are nearing the end of 1 episode, and we've hit that 1 hour mark, and you see how easy this is for us to do here, Chris, because it's just a conversation.
Yeah. It's easy to banter.
So I am going to actually hit the little music here to start bringing in the end of it. If you do want to check us out, head up our Facebook It's Squirrel Tangent. The Squirrel Tangent on Facebook. You can search us actually on any search engine. Find us. You can find Chris. Where was that again? 808 Thompson again on Instagram.
Yeah, 808 Thompson on Instagram, or you can find me through probably Squirrel Tangent, looking at your friends list or whatever. Probably through there. Chris Thompson on that on Facebook. But there's bazillions of Chris Thompsons, so you won't find me.
Yeah.
Through a friends list.
You're a special kind of Chris. And ladies and gentlemen, aloha.
That's right.